Thank you, Christiana. It is now my honor to introduce an individual that exudes leadership. He has served as inspiration to many of us, a true visionary that has helped play a crucial role in making our institution what it is today. Without further ado, join me in welcoming to the stage our Wolfson Campus President, Dr. Jose Vicente.
Thank you, and by the way, you have a stellar voice. I wish I could sing like you, not even in the shower. Good evening. Wait a minute. I think this is a very important occasion and one that certainly deserves energy. So let me see that energy coming throughout this room. Good evening. Good evening, buenas noches, bonsoir, shalom. It is indeed a very special occasion here this evening tonight, as we are celebrating many accomplishments. And on behalf of Dr. Eduardo Padron, that unfortunately he is traveling, he is in Washington, D.C., representing the college, I'd certainly like to extend a very cordial welcome to all of you. Certainly to my colleagues here at Miami-Dade College, the campus presidents, the campus administrators, faculty, staff, but most importantly, the award recipients, their parents, and their families. Thank you and congratulations. At this time, I'd like to introduce some of the members of the senior college administration that are here joining us on this important gathering. A number of them are actually at meetings elsewhere out of town, but two of them are here with me tonight. And as I call your name, please stand up. When we've called both of you, then we could acknowledge you both with a round of applause. The president of the North Campus, Dr. Malu Harrison. Please follow instructions. The president of our Homestead campus, Dr. Gene Jacobs. Thank you both for joining us on this important occasion. I'd also like to acknowledge a number of very special guests that are actually joining us on this important evening as well. State Senator Dwight Buller, who representing District 39. Thank you, sir, for coming all the way here to be with us this evening. As importantly, our esteemed keynote speaker, Mr. Alberto Ibargüen, President and CEO of the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, and he will be formally introduced later in the program. Mr. Ibargüen, thank you for being here and for addressing our families and students here today. Also with us, Ms. Andrea Ivory, a 2009 CNN hero who is a breast cancer survivor and president and CEO of Women's Breast and Heart Initiative, and who was actually our keynote speaker for this event 5 years ago. Time does fly, doesn't it? Ms. Lorena Garcia Duran, United States Director of the Ashoka Support Network, who is visiting with us all the way from Los Angeles. Ashoka is the world's largest network of social entrepreneurs with the vision of creating and everyone making them a change maker in the world. Thank you, Lorena, for being with us today. Also with her is Mr. Rodrigo Baggio. He's social entrepreneur and Ashoka Fellow, all the way from Brazil, who is one of the world's most foremost champions of information technology and education for all, and as importantly, for the most needed. Thank you for being with us as well. Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. And that is a famous quote from John F. Kennedy on the inside page of the program, that you'd find it. And that is what this evening is truly all about. Celebrating students, celebrating faculty and staff who are doing great things for our community and certainly for our country. It certainly gives me great pride and hope for the future to see so many of you that have made such a significant commitment to service. This year, our students have provided over 100,000 hours of service to hundreds of community partners and organizations throughout South Florida, addressing some of our community's most pressing social, environmental, and civic needs. Through these and through those efforts, you are indeed change makers of our community. The President's Volunteer Service Award was actually started back in 2003 under President Bush, and actually it's been continued under President Obama. This award was created as a way to thank and to honor individuals and groups who, through their demonstrated commitment and example, inspiring others to engage in volunteer service. The program started here at Miami-Dade College in 2007, and this is our 9th awards ceremony. This year, 859 students, faculty, and staff from the Miami-Dade College system earned the Presidential Volunteer Service Award. MDC now has the largest number of awards recipients in the state of Florida, thanks to all of you and to all of your efforts. $348 earned individual awards, 35 student organizations earned the award with an additional 511 members. Each award recipient tonight will receive an official President's Volunteer Service Award lapel pin, a personalized certificate of achievement, a congratulatory letter from President Barack Obama, a thank you letter from the Miami-Dade College President, Dr. Eduardo Padron. Again, to all of our recipients, congratulations on this most meritorious distinction. We thank you, and please do keep up the needed work. Congratulations. And at this time, I'd like to now introduce Ms. Stephanie Nolasco, President of the North Campus Student Government Association, who will be introducing our esteemed keynote speaker. Ms. Nolasco.
Good evening, Miami-Dade College presidents, faculty, students, and honored guests. My name is Stephanie Nolasco, and I am the Student Government Association President of Miami-Dade College North Campus. I am so pleased to be with you this evening and to have the distinct honor of introducing our keynote speaker, Mr. Alberto Ibargüen. Mr. Alberto Ibargüen is the President and CEO of the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation. He is a former publisher of the Miami Herald and El Nuevo Herald. During his tenure, the Miami Herald won 3 Pulitzer Prizes, and El Nuevo Herald won Spain's Ortega y Gasset Prize for excellence in journalism. He studied at Wesleyan University and the University of Pennsylvania Law School. Between college and law school, he served in the Peace Corps in Venezuela's Amazon territory and was the Peace Corps Programming and Training Officer in Colombia, based in Bogota. He practiced law in Hartford, Connecticut until he joined the Hartford Courant, then Newsday in New York, before moving to Miami. Mr. Ibargüen serves as a member of the boards of PepsiCo, American Airlines Group, and AOL. He is a former chair of the World Wide Web Foundation, founded by web inventor Sir Tim Berners-Lee to promote a free and universal web. Over time, he has served on the boards of arts, education, and journalism organizations, including the Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts, Wesleyan University, and Smith College. He is trustee emeritus of the Newseum in Washington, D.C., where he served as board chair. He also chaired the board of PBS and served on the boards of the Council on Foreign Relations, the Committee to Protect Journalists, and ProPublica. For his work to protect journalists in Latin America, Mr. Ibargüen received a Maria Morris Cabot citation from Columbia University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage a man who continues to make great contributions to South Florida, the world of journalism, and the global community, Mr. Alberto Ibargüen.
Thank you, Stephanie. I guess the theme tonight is that volunteerism stays with you throughout your life, and as Stephanie just articulated, my life is full of volunteer efforts. The concept of service, the concept of volunteering, is quintessentially American. It runs with us from the Pilgrims to the volunteer army, essentially a volunteer army that fought the revolution, the pioneers that conquered the West and relied on each other and the waves of immigrants that followed. We are a volunteer nation, and I can't not go back to, I couldn't not go back in thinking about what I would say tonight to Alexis de Tocqueville, who wrote Democracy in America in the middle of the 1900s. In 1840, he wrote these three things I want to say to you. In the United States, as soon as several inhabitants have taken an opinion or idea that they wish to promote in society, they seek each other out and unite once they have made contact. From that moment, they are no longer isolated, but have become a power seen from afar, whose activities serve as an example, whose words are heeded. The greatness of America lies not in being more enlightened than other nations, but rather in her ability to repair her faults. The health of a democratic society may be measured by the quality of functions performed by private citizens. The quality of functions performed by private citizens. This is so essentially American, and it is so much what you're doing today. I look around Miami and I see volunteerism of all sorts. I see volunteerism for environmental issues and health issues, social services. There's also a very strong and deep current of volunteerism that is very personal in many of our various cultures in this community. Think about the number of relatives that you know that have come from Cuba, from Jamaica, from Colombia, Venezuela, from anywhere around the world who are brought in, and you volunteer, we volunteer as a community to bring them in. You volunteer in churches, you volunteer in synagogues, at the Community Partnership for the Homeless. I really commend you for the 100,000 hours of service and Miami-Dade College for being having the largest number of President's Volunteer Service Awards winners. In my own life, as you heard, I volunteered for the Peace Corps. I was actually told to bring extra suits because I spoke Spanish, and I was going to be the liaison with the Ministry of Development in Caracas, and instead they sent me to the Amazon territory, and that was a big surprise. And I said, Amazonas, but that's jungle. They can't send me there. And sure enough, that's where I spent the next 2.5 absolutely wonderful years, followed by 2.5 years of work in the Peace Corps after. I went to law school, and I still basically was a volunteer. I joined the Legal Aid Society, and for the amount of money you get paid at legal aid, you might as well be a volunteer. It was amazingly rewarding, and from for all of my life, from registering voters in front of Maria's Candy Store on Albany Avenue in Hartford to being chairman of the museum or chairman of PBS nationally, I have always believed in volunteering. I was talking earlier with Alexander Starr, who you'll meet later on, about the good you give keeps giving back to you for your entire life. This is your time, but it will always be your time if you keep on giving. That at least has been my experience. And today I'm privileged to lead the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, which has an essential core belief in democracy and a belief that democracy requires informed and engaged communities. In a democracy, a community must be informed so that the people may determine their own interests. But that's not enough. In order for the democracy to really function well, the people must be engaged. And that is where the quality, as de Tocqueville said, the quality of functions performed by private citizens that we celebrate tonight comes in. That's the volunteerism that you're a part of. You are all already accomplished volunteers. I can't tell you very much about that. You know your own story. You already believe in it just by your presence tonight, I know that. But I'd like to call out a few lessons, 3 lessons, that I've learned from a lifetime in volunteering. Number 1, to be a great volunteer, you must understand humility, and that includes understanding that you're not a saint, however good you may be, whatever good you may be doing, however free you may be giving your services. You as the volunteer are also getting a lot out of the experience. Number 2, and you have to be honest about that. Number 2, you have to balance power with respect. You have the power to leave that situation. The people that you help often do not. You have to balance your power with respect for the people you work with. And number 3, when called, seize the day and step up. Answer the call. I'll tell you 2 quick stories, both from my experience. The first was in the Amazon when I was a volunteer. I was 22 years old, and I worked in a co-op that took a jungle fiber, cut a jungle fiber, which was used in brooms and brushes. It was cut from palm trees. We were way into the jungle. Distance is measured in time, and we were about a week and a half away from any town. In other words, it took a week and a half to get from the nearest town to where we were in the middle of the jungle. The captain of the group got word that his daughter had been bitten by a snake. She had contracted gangrene, and they feared for her life. And he came to me. He was a man of, I would guess, 40 years old. Again, I was 22. And he came to me as the person he thought was in charge. He was the captain. He came to me, a kid, and asked for permission to go back home to see his daughter who might die. And I said I could not give him what wasn't mine to give, that he was the captain, that he had to make the decision, and that I would support whatever decision he made. There is no training for understanding that kind of respect. You just have to believe it. The next morning, I woke up and he had already left. He went back to his village. The daughter, as it turned out, did have a very difficult time, but ultimately came out all right. I saw him maybe 3 or 4 weeks later, back in his village, and for the first time, when I saw him, for the first time in the year and a half that we had known each other by then, for the first time, he looked me in the eye. It was man to man. There was an element of respect and pride, and I will never, as long as I live, forget the pride of being a man, the pride that he had, that I had helped him find, and that he had given to me by the showing of respect despite the power. However good you feel about what you're doing, and the sacrifice you may be making as a volunteer, you must be humble and honest enough to understand that you are gaining tremendously from the experience. The volunteer who treats people you're working with respect will be rewarded beyond anything you could possibly give. The second story I'd like to talk about a little bit is really about answering the call. And I'll tell you about the time in 1964 when I was a student at Wesleyan University. I was the editor of the newspaper, and I had the privilege of meeting Dr. Martin Luther King, who came to campus to give the graduation ceremony. He had given the baccalaureate lecture the night before. There had been many events. There was lots of, he had obviously been, everyone wanted to talk with him, see him. He had obviously been up quite late the night before. I met him first in a small conference room beneath the president's office in South College at Wesleyan. And he sat there at this round table answering questions that he had probably heard 1,000 times before, answering each one unfailingly polite. Coretta Scott King sat behind him, dressed perfectly in a scarlet red dress and a matching pillbox scarlet red hat of the kind that was worn. This is a very Jackie Kennedy kind of look of the time. I'll never forget that image. I'll also never forget that this was just a man. This was a man who was so tired. He was being asked the same questions he'd been asked 1,000 times before, and nevertheless, every time he'd come back, he'd answer, he got through. I couldn't quite figure out how this was the Martin Luther King that had moved so many people, because this was just a man. Until later on that day, it was a cloudy day. Wesleyan holds its graduations in front of a great lawn on a hillside that's stepped with a very big, huge marble terrace. And it was not 2 hours after I had seen this man as tired as he could possibly look. He got to the lectern and he rose to the occasion. He gave what I now understand was his basic stump speech. He talked about the arc of the moral universe. He said the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. He talked about the righteousness of the cause. He talked about being sure that we would win. He talked about the arc of history bending toward justice. And I swear that as he spoke, the clouds parted and the sun shone. At least in my mind, that's how I remember it. I also remember the lessons. The lesson that this was just a man who stood up and answered the call. I also recall from that time on that I take my heroes with both feet firmly planted on the ground. They put their pants on one leg at a time. He made me understand that a man who is called on and steps up is a man who encourages us all to make our lives, as I think many of you have, lives full of small acts of greatness. When opportunity to serve presents itself, don't forget, step up. Today, we rightly celebrate your commitment to our community, and we celebrate your commitment to active citizenship. And I, for one, thank you very, very much.
Mr. Ibargüen, we have a memento that I'd like to present to you on behalf of all of the students that are being recognized, and certainly on behalf of all of my colleagues here This is from Miami-Dade College to you, and we sincerely appreciate and thank you for taking time from your very busy schedule to be here with us on this very important occasion. By the way, it's a Miami-Dade College pen. At this time is the moment that you're going to remain here with us because now we're going to be calling the students. We can have it here if you'd like. No, you won't. You won't. I'm taking my pen home. No, by all means. I'd like to call on both presidents, Presidents Harrison and Jacobs, to join me as we're going to be commencing now with the presentations of the awards. And I'd like to call on Professors Brooke Bovey as well as Carola Pradeshi to please stand and come up to the podium as you're going to be calling the students' names.
We will now present the Bronze Level Award recipients, recognizing individuals who have completed 100 to 174 hours of service in a 12-month period. Faye Lewis-Storr, Zoila Lastre, Danny Fernandez, Jose Montalvan, Alexander Urbay, Anthony Barreto, David Lotker, Nancy Francilion, Jennifer Dorsonville, Amaya Martinez, John Nicholas Jackson, Yvette Prieto Castro, Yaoa Hu, Nelly Molina, Cristina Garcia, Richard Santana, Narciso Pepe, Robin Morales Echenagucia, Carolina Flores, Yasmin Arias, Essie Frost, Andrea Fields, Lisette Linares, Charles Rosler, Carla Tinoco Harkin, Christian Moore, Isabel M. Ortega, Quintia Whitehead, Heather Burfield, Jonathan Bentata, Alexa Curiel, Nicole Ramsey, Milena Gonzalez, Cristina Gonzalez, Patricia Mitchell, Alejandra Valdez, Ainhoa Langarcia, let me try again, Ainhoa Langarica, Leonel Gonzalez, Arleti Mendez, Anne Severe, Maria Sincere, Stacy Guerrier, Charlisa Montreux, Sabrina Pimentel, Jose M. Garcia, Juan Farias, Marcela Kohulun, Michael Jimenez, Carl Mondesir, Cassandra Romero, Stephen Delgado, Mimi Aruca, Vernica Chalumeo, Carmen Lopez, Ida Caprun, Maidy Martinez, Valtrice Sullivan, Maria Londono, Stephanie Castellon, Mila Dago, Vivian Ferro, Omar Iglesias, Luisa Kinzerska Martinez, Lillian Fundora Pelayo, Sparkle Smith, Victor Manuel Gonzalez, Lucy Ramers, Aura Amaris, Mercedes Medina, Cecilia Denise Castillo Aguilar, Benjamin Pereira, Coraima Orochena, Damis Valentin, Armando Padilla, Juan Carlos La Rosa, Kevin Moore, Ivan Becker, Jean-Baptiste Pierre, Shyam Ingenti, Donald Pidugu, Madeline Gross, Rebecca Stevens, Leo Catala, Shayla Galban, Jonathan Hernandez, Mariana Racovita, Jessica Vigoa, Harold Paul, Mia Sorensen, Willie Concepcion, Jofiel Perez, Shannon Chin, Joseph Santoro, Jorge Vito Lastallo, Jessica Botero, Jennifer Matos, Apina Smothers, Ellen Kindelan, Erin Aguila, Andrea Somoza, Carol Sanjines, Richard Duran, Angelina Memoli, Rostonia Moss, Kamisha Coates, Nicole Delaney Charles, Berlene Lauren, Randolph Excellent, Stephanie Orjales. Lorix Lee Smith. Alicia Siliesar. Juan Lujano. Sebastian Mayorga. We will now present the Silver Level Award recipients, recognizing individuals who have completed 175 to 249 hours of service in a 12-month period. Janaya Bell, Cynthia Ibarra, Martha Wallace, Camila Neira, Alicia Williams, Nadia Guenduz, Sachet Bigot, Jesus Cruz, Stephanie Benjamin, Melissa Alvarez, Caroline Zamprogno, Juan Albrecht, Elen Hernandez, Darla Rivera, Ernesto Rivero Alberto, Don Damas, Jean-Pierre Jean-Jules, Stevens Bono, Desiree Sanchez, Lise M. Fleurin, Samantha Worthy, Ayomida Mope Adejola, Gabriela Leva de la Torre, Nina Ortiz, Rachel Papalardo, Arlia Alexander, Adriana Arcos, Samantha Blaine Misa, Fernando Dupree, Kim D. Braswell. Congratulations.
And now it is my great pleasure. We will now present the Gold Level Award recipients, recognizing individuals who have completed more than 250 hours of service in a 12-month period. Tiusca Santana, Virgilio Capote, Heidi Hidalgo, Christine Alpizar Gold, Peter Marin, Javier Garzón, Victor Calixte, Nayara Barros, Julian Ramos, Howard M. Bolden, Diana Yaruro, Andrés Tirado, Nicolás de Núñez, Ivona Villaboy, Alexander López, José Díaz, Reinaldo Pérez, Emily Álvarez, Michelle Rodríguez, Yanelis González, Tania María Rodríguez, Valerie Weldon, Nayara López, Karen Camacho, oh my goodness, Eliani Peña, Vilma Luque, Jennifer Vega, Benjamin Paul, Stephanie Loaiza, Brandon Marrero, Carla Narváez, Maleiva Franco Peroso, Sterling Lewis, Diana Bula Picos, Dairi García, Rosa Ana Barrera, Holly Scheinhoff, Alejandro Silva, Warren McGobbett, Sonia Santamaría, Roberto Concepción, Jerry Victor, Noé González, Stephanie Gutiérrez, Ashley Favela, Eric Salvador Rocha, Stephanie Nolasco, Irina Ruiz, Carolina Bendana, Jaciel Díez, José Santiago, Merana Toussaint, Anaye Almonor, Naya Gay, Nia Gay, James Gibbs, Diamante Jones, it is really an honor to present to you the President's Call to Service Award recipients, recognizing individuals who have completed 4,000 or more hours of service over a lifetime. Patricia Ramaniuk, Paula Beatriz Milano, Juan José Prieto Valdés, Brittany Sims, and now we will present to you the last group, a very special group, the PVSA to student clubs and organizations that have excelled in service. The Bronze Award recognizes groups that have completed between 200 and 499 hours. The Silver Award recognizes groups that have completed 500 to 999 hours of service in a 12-month period. And the Gold Award is for groups that have completed more than 1,000 hours of service in a 12-month period. Thank you. Okay. Wolfson Student Government Association. Wolfson InterVarsity Christian Fellowship. Wolfson Haitian Bukan Club. North National Alliance on Mental Illness. North Tropical Beat. Kendall Campus Activities Board. Kendall Student Government Association. North Axis Creative Arts Club, bronze. North Face, bronze. Medical Miami-Dade College Physician Assistant Student Organization, gold. Excellent. 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 Excellent job. Excellent job. You again? Excellent job. Excellent job. Congratulations. North PPA and Nursing Club, bronze. North Youth for Environmental Sustainability, bronze. North STEM Ladder, bronze. IAC Phi Theta Kappa, silver. IAC Student Government Association, silver. North Future Educators of America Professionals, bronze. North Student Government Association, gold. West Student Government Association, silver. North Rotaract Club, bronze. Homestead Phi Theta Kappa, silver. Homestead Phi Beta Lambda, bronze. Homestead Student Government Association, gold. Medical Phi Theta Kappa, bronze. Wolfson Health and Wellness Organization, silver. Wolfson Psychology Club, bronze. Kendall Dreamers, bronze. Excellent job. Excellent. Good to see you again. Medical Student Association, bronze. Congratulations. North Haitian Igbo Club, bronze. North Phi Theta Kappa Mu Epsilon chapter, silver. Homestead Dream Team, gold. North Abilities Unlimited Individuals, bronze. Thank you so much. IAC Future Educators of America, gold. Wilson Rotaract Club of Downtown Miami, gold. Thank you so much. Let's give them a great round of applause. They are our change makers. Miami-Dade College's change makers.
I wanted to take a moment to also thank someone that needs no introduction, but when we're talking about service, when we're talking about coordination college-wide, Josh Young, he is the person that makes it happen. So thank you, Josh.
So if you looked at your agenda in the program, what's the last thing that it said? Special presentation. I am so excited to close the event. We have a very special presentation and performance. It's going to be a treat. I've been looking forward to this, believe it or not, for a month since they agreed to be here tonight. So allow me to introduce Kuda Biza, a global change maker and co-founder and chief donor of AFR Clothing, a brand that uses fashion as a vehicle for change by donating 20% of their profits towards the education of children in need in Africa. So Kuda Biza, please come forward.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you a little bit about my day today. I had breakfast in Africa, lunch in New York City, and now I'm gonna have dinner in Miami. So for me right now, it feels like it's 2 a.m., but like what Mr. Ibargwin said, when the opportunity comes, you need to step up. So the opportunity for me to come on the stage came up, so I've stepped up. So it's a pleasure to be here, and I am overwhelmed by what this institution has been able to do with regards to volunteering. A little bit about myself and AFR Clothing. AFR Clothing, like Josh said, is a brand that uses fashion as a vehicle for change. We donate 20% of our profits to educate children in Africa. AFR Clothing was founded in a dorm room a few years back at Lynn University in Boca Raton. When I was a senior in school, I found out that 61 million children in the world lack education, with 50% of the children in sub-Saharan Africa. Having been born in Zimbabwe, I decided that I needed to do something to make a change. However, at the time, I didn't have resources. I was just a senior in school, trying to graduate. But I decided to make a difference with $150 with no fashion experience, but with a lot of passion. I was able to found AFR Clothing and we've been able to educate 19 children in 4 African countries over the past 5 years. The picture you see up there is when I was in Zimbabwe. Like I just told you, I just came from Africa this morning. I spent 3 weeks volunteering my time mentoring 10 of the students we've recently added to our program. And in that picture, there's a young girl who's right in front of me in a green shirt. Her name is Clara. Clara is 12 years old, and she's in 1st grade. Think about it. She had never been in a classroom. She had never seen a book. She didn't know how to read and write at age 12. It was at that time when AFR Clothing stepped in and we started educating Clara. I also want to echo the words of Martin Luther King, since, Mr. Ibagwen had alluded to him earlier. One of his famous quotes is, "Life's most urgent and persistent question is, what are you doing for others?" And I'm proud to come here today and see hundreds of students who are answering that single question through what you're doing in volunteering. So, lastly, I just want to share with you my creed. And my creed as a young leader is that I've made up my mind that for everything that I'll do, I will be able to change lives and make a difference, because I don't need to be, a millionaire or wait until I make it in order to start making a difference. Now, with whatever you have, be it little or great, you can impact lives and touch lives. And I really experienced it through my trip in Africa, and I'm sure everybody in this room who's a change maker has experienced it through the volunteer work that you've done. And with that being said, I just want to introduce our Chief Brand Ambassador, Alexander Starr. Alexander Starr is a singer, a songwriter. He sings positive music, and he came up with a song that embraces the whole notion of understanding that this is not our moment. This is our era to be change makers. DJ, drop the beat.
Every day I dedicate my time to making the world better. And it starts right now, cause this is my era. If you believe in world change, everybody stand up right now. This is my era. Volume up. This is my era. Woo! This is my era. I need to see everybody's glow stick lit up in the sky, cause this is my era. This is my era. What about you? Listen, everybody runs the race. Some have what it takes, and others don't make it through. But what about you? Stand up when they call your name. Stand out when you do your job. Let greatness notice you. If you're just wishing for glory, then what are you asking? Victory ain't sweet if you don't live through the pain. So many great ones before me found glory everlasting. Well, that's what I came to do, came to see. Cause see, this is my era. Put 'em up. This is my era. Come on. I said, this is my era. Whoa. Blessings and love, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all can remain standing or you can be seated. I'm just gonna say a few words to everybody. Yo, first and foremost, give it up for all the students. Give it up for all the students. See, one of the main things that I noticed in this room is that there's an overwhelming minority population. I'm talking about leaders. This is a room full of leaders, and in my line of work, man, I'm very proud to be amongst all of y'all. My name is Alexander Starr. I am Chief Brand Ambassador of AFR Clothing. Our table is over there. Kuda was talking about us. We educate children in Africa because, like he said, we believe that you don't have to be rich and famous and already made it to give a few dollars to charity. The more you do with a little bit will give you what you need to get a lot more and bless people with it when you have a lot more. If you do a lot with a little, imagine what you can do with a lot, right? So, with that said, I understand where all the students are because if you're anything like me, you've been going against the grain your whole life. And let me explain. I'm a professional songwriter. I teach songwriting classes to inner city youth in Broward and Dade. But the standards to which I hold these young people is I show them how to express themselves. I show them how to be who they are genuinely and honestly. And I show them how to make great music without using profanity, without degrading women, without reckless and ignorant messages being promoted. Y'all know who used to do that back in the day? There's very few people that I can reference today that do that, but anybody heard of the Fresh Prince? Yo, who didn't want to be Will Smith back in the day? Man, he had the flyest dress code, AFR Clothing. He had all the ladies, he had the TV show, and he didn't cuss in not any of his records. He just made music that you could relate to, that if you're riding in the car with your grandma, you don't have to turn it down. You be like, ooh, grandma, listen to this. Turn it up. I used to take my grandma out for like 10 years, so that's my grandma metaphor. But, you know, like I said, you're not in here because you messed around and did something good and now you're getting recognized. You're in here because this is who you are, right? So, back to the going against the grain part of it. Coming up as a young person, and really throughout life, you're surrounded by people your entire life who are trying to find their way in the world. And the choice that you usually get to make is split in two. So let's say, for instance, growing up, your peers are trying to find their way and you're trying to find your way. So you get to choose between doing the right thing or doing the cool thing. And you and we are the ones making it the cool thing to do the right thing. So, what I'd like to do now, first and foremost, thank you, Mr. Joshua Young. Y'all know Josh Young, right? Tamika Ramos. Thank y'all so much for making it an absolute breeze for me to be here. This is an incredible event. They did a great job. I know your boss is listening, so boss, they did a great job. So there's this thing, right? It's called Instagram. Anybody here got that? Anybody here want to be on mine? So I'm gonna count to 3. And I want everybody to put the peace sign up and make some noise as loud as you can. Y'all ready? Glow sticks are included in that peace signage. Y'all ready? MDC, are y'all ready? 1, 2, 3, MDC! Yo, y'all see my handle up there. That's what I am across all social media. Please tag yourself in this video if you're in this room. Again,
My name is Mr. Alexander Starr. I'll be right over there by the AFR clothing table. It'd be my absolute pleasure to meet with all of y'all. Mr. Joshua Young, you want to come and take this on for him? Peace.
Mr. Ibarguen, it's an honor to have you here tonight. Thank you so much. And Alexander Starr and Kuda, thank you. You guys are awesome. Family members, I have a 12-year-old son. I hope I can do as good a job as you have in raising my son so that he has a heart of service like your children and relatives do. So let's give you a round of applause too. The college photographer, Carlos, is going to stick around. He's in the back. Alexander and Kuda will be over here. All of your awards are downstairs, so pick them up on the way out. And have a great night. You guys are wonderful, and thank you. Thank you.